Hey team, Jen here. As we move into week 7, I wanted to take a little pause and to make note of something that I've seen in my classes pretty notoriously every single term is that week 7 tends to be a week in which students feel like they're stuck. After the midterm, there's a little breath of relief for many students. By week 7, they start to feel the pressures of the upcoming final paper or final project for the course. And I don't know about you, but I've noticed that in week 7, morale can be pretty low. I start to get a lot of students coming to online office hours. I start to notice that in the forums or in the group work or in the workshops, that more students will start dropping little comments like, I feel really overwhelmed, or this seems like I'm not, where I want to be right now or where I need to be. So week 7 for me has always been a notorious week of very low morale for students. They really start to feel that pressure of getting that work done, getting it done better than they did before. So this week I really wanted to focus on some strategies that we can use in our classrooms to bring up that morale and help students to feel like they've got the stamina to really finish this course out strongly. And I'd love to hear your suggestions and your approaches to this in the forums this week. So feel free to go there and really offer us your insights. For me, a couple things that I do, they're pretty simple. In week 7, my announcement is really driven by a lot of encouragement. I try to begin my announcement with a clear reflection, looking back on where students have been, how far they've come. And in my week 7 announcement, I do heavy reflection and heavy synthesis. I really want students to see what I've been asking them to do and to see that most of them really are moving forward in the course. I also like to take the time to remind students that making progress in academic discourse takes time. A 10-week class to see the kind of improvements that I often see in students in 10 weeks is exceptional. It's phenomenal. And it's something that we should definitely celebrate and recognize rather than, you know, continuing to critique and kind of be very almost self-injuring about. I find that students tend to get really down on themselves at this point in the term. So I like to really boost them up through that announcement. Another thing that I like to do in week 7 is I like to start to let students know at this point whether or not the crux of their papers or the crux of their discussion posts, the nugget of the idea there is worthy of unpacking and worthy of publication. Students, I like to make it known to students that one of my obligations is to help them to develop a publishable paper or at least a publishable idea. So here in week 7, I really take the time to reach out to students who I think have contrived something very unique and special in their writing, to let them know that although your idea or although your paper isn't developed enough yet to be able to be submitted to a peer-reviewed journal, I do think that you have something here that could springboard you forward on that path. And I think that, I don't like to blow sunshine up any students' asses, but I think that there are certainly students in all of our classes who are doing the kind of work that we think could move them forward toward publication. Giving students a heads up about this can really, really boost their morale and really help them to see the bigger picture, which is so important when morale gets low. So those are two things that I do in week 7. In week 7 as well, something else that I do sometimes is I'll send an email to students who are struggling. And even if it's just a little bit, and I'll try to hone in on something that they've done well, even if it's just one thing, to say, I know that you've had a lot of struggle with time management. I know you've had a lot of struggle with completing the assignment fully, and I know that you continue to struggle with developing your ideas and your paragraphs and your argumentation. But I wanted to take a moment and I wanted to let you know that your critical thinking is amazing. right? And if you could only develop those other things and get them in alignment with your critical thinking skills, I really think that you can improve in week 7, week 8, week 9, and week 10. So if you could hone in on students who might just need something to hang on to in week 7, that could really help. Let me know if you are seeing low morale in your classes in week 7, or if I'm the only one. I love to hear from you on the forums, and I hope that you guys have a great week this week. Bye for now.